Hi, welcome back to part 2 of my story, which are these details. However, in the spirit of full disclosure, I need to state that after I wrote part 1, after I wrote about 90% of part 2, my advocate notified me that VA had contacted him and let him know that most of my benefits were being restored, and that VA was working on the rest. Thus, the servant of mine could actually hurt my case. However, I've gone through too much confusion, fear, anger, and sadness over the last 18 months just to pretend it never happened. The lag time between initiating this project and publicizing it was neither strategic nor tactical decision. Rather, the delay was rooted in the technical aspects associated with actually producing videos. Let me preface the next session by saying that I'm extremely grateful my individual case on the path toward equitable resolution. So much trouble though is the signature block on the letter which addresses my case. And the signature is actually the head of various compensation and pension services. They're not directly applicable here. The phrase was coined by British philosopher Arthur Koestler and popularized by the band The Police. The Ghost Machine seems to fit here. Additionally, contrary to the state methodology, the compensation pension system, to my experience, is one in which the VA holds nearly all the evidence, but the burden of proof is placed on the veteran, both in the initial evaluation as well as any subsequent actions. Fixing my case did not repair the CMP system itself. Also, I want to let you know that I wrote the script for parts 1 and 2 of this exercise in their entirety. If anyone's to be held accountable for anything stated or implied in these videos, it's I alone. Interestingly, this is not the first time I got through this exercise with the VA. In 1998, and I never knew the reason behind it, the VA decided for government to be reevaluated. After a thoroughly inadequate physical evaluation, I was given a completely flawed proposed rating. In that case, I actually went to St. Petersburg to appeal the recommended rating and appeal hearing. I never heard anything further, and naively, I assumed no news to good news. I was completely surprised when I was notified in 2013, almost 18 years after my injury, that I was again being reevaluated. My surprise was based primarily on the fact that I always considered myself a human being and not a newt. The fact I had part of my spine, a chunk of my skull, and almost half my cerebellum removed. It would be wonderful if my missing body parts spontaneously regenerated, but they didn't. A reporter had Saturday morning, and I was seen late because the physician was doing a thorough exam of my records. As I said, what followed was a complete farce of examination, particularly given the fact that my medical records have been described as the size of a phone book of a moderately sized metropolitan area. When I got home, I told my ex-wife asked how it went. I said I was very confused. I said my medical history is not discussed. There was no neurological examination, and the overall exam itself was entirely inadequate. However, my VA general practitioner had previously told me my records got so large They have to be separated on multiple volumes, and the CNP doctor has stated to spend more than a half hour going through my records, so I said I guess the exam was merely perfunctory. When I received the 18-page Wounded Warrior legal brief, I saw the court of the VA, I had refused to have the scars my head examined because I stated all the information regarding them was in my medical records. I'm willing to swear on the Bible, my kids' lives, and sorry, Mom, about my mother's grave, that I never made any statement, even resembling that. Regardless, let's ignore any constraints associated with reality and assume I did say that. Seems to me the compensation pension would have been put on notice about my prior injuries. The duty to investigate would have been confirmed when the examining physician noted the scars in her exam notes. Yet, not surprisingly, not a single physical symptom related to the scars was even mentioned in my proposed rating. I was quite shocked when I received my initial proposed rating. Oh, sorry. That is the legal brief I mentioned, and is 14 pages. Of rather robust commentary. Anyways, as I mentioned, I received my initial proposed rating, and then I received a subsequent proposed rating. And guess what? They were different. I was never examined between the two dates of the two ratings, but somehow my ratings changed. Not even sure how that happened. Amazingly enough, there was no mention whatsoever of the 6 operations I suffered before my head injury. Via the Wounded Warrior 14-page brief, I learned the VA claimed in 2002 I forgotten any claims from those procedures. Insert the briefs, I swear statement here. I even worked with my VA general practitioner to note those operational medical records when I discovered they weren't listed. I had my right shoulder absurdly buried twice and reconstructed once. I currently pay out of pocket to go to therapy 3 times a week so I can maintain some semblance of use out of it. I'd also have my right ankle, both knees, and my nose are brown. Additionally, I've received multiple cortisone shots in my left hip, which I'm told is going to need to be replaced if I want pain relief from. Now I think what I tell the VA not to worry about that stuff. Additionally, that same brief revealed the VA claim. I told the VA investigator, I said I didn't want to practice law when I graduated from law school. What I told the investigator is that I very much wanted to practice law, but it wasn't realistic to think I could prepare for and pass the Florida bar. I also said I hate people feeling sorry for me, so I would tell them I didn't want to practice law to avoid this. I guess ISIS does accept this as typical behavior, hearing what you want to hear and not listening to what's actually said. One can see between the two ratings at the 10% for neurological deficits. I mentioned probably gets to back in part 1. He's the IRS contractor who was investigated by Representative Tammy Duckworth when he testified before Congress. As I said before, Twist Angle got 30%. I had serious brain injury and I got 10%. Ironically, this testimony before Congress occurred approximately 1 week after I received my proposed rating. I wrote Representative Duckworth a note after I saw the exchange on television. In part, I stated, unfortunately, I feel my case represents the VA's internal backlash against abuse of the system by individuals such as Ms. Castillo. There's such an influx of deserving individuals from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan that I believe the VA is currently being over-aggressive in setting the rules of current disabled veterans. This one I'm referring to as unintended consequences. Just so there's no misinterpretation of the passage, the previous statements that, in my opinion, and not stated fact. Also, that's a picture of myself in my wheelchair, my ex-wife, and my then 10-year-old son, who was generally terrified of me. However, a glaring inconsistency in my rating for Appellate Vote Court. My original rating was 30%. However, the initial proposal rating was reduced to 10%. I'm not sure how a general practitioner was able to determine this without actually examining my throat. Interesting enough, our question received an MRI in 2009 because they felt my speech and general beliefs were beginning to decline at an alarming rate. The MRI is followed up by meeting with several specialists. This visit, as fully documented in my medical records, is cited repeatedly in the Wounded Warrior Project legal brief. This is when I sat down with a neurologist to review my MRI. She pointed to a large black spot in my brain scan and told me this is where the rest of my cerebellum was supposed to be. I said I've been told that approximately half my cerebellum had been removed. She smiled and replied, just about. During that same visit, I also met with the sweet Sarahs. I anticipated and dreaded having to undergo another laryngoscopy, a procedure where they shove a fiber optic camera down your throat to examine vocal cords. This would have been required to confirm my vocal cord paralysis. I got through this procedure several times. It's very unpleasant. After examining my records, the speech therapist said, the good news is we won't have to perform a laryngoscopy. It just wouldn't matter because your vagus nerve was crushed when your brainstem was damaged. The vagus nerve is part of your brainstem that helps control speech was irrevocably damaged. Irrevocably damaged when my brainstem was shoved to the bottom of my skull. As I said before, 30% of my ratings were Appellate Vote Court. That means everything else is only 40%. When I received my initial proposed rating, I went through Title 38, Code of Federal Regulations, Chapter 1, Part 4. It's rather thick to determine what I felt my rating should be. Combining my medical history with extensive use of Wikipedia, I came up with an conservative rating of 1,430%. As I said, this is actually rather conservative because there are 6 areas that rate minimum 10%, what could be higher, but I gave myself 10% on them. Some examples. Let's see it real quick. We've got neuralgia, sharp the cause, enduring signs and symptoms, dysphagia, sharp the cause, help the signs and symptoms, peripheral neuropathy, sharp the cause, enduring the signs and symptoms, pharyngeal reflex, sharp the cause, enduring the effects. Myasthenia gravis, sharp the cause, showing the signs and symptoms. And our friend, the vagus nerve. The same holds true for everyone that is on my spreadsheet. I'm not saying definitively that I suffer from each of them. I am saying definitively that evaluation when touching my fingers to my thumb and testing my reflexes was warranted. Yes, I know the total rings max out at 100%, but I want to point out how laughable the proposed rating is. Now, it's going to go a lot longer, but I'm sorry, my voice is wearing out. Couple more things real quick. Now, I used to hate taking medicine. I'd only do the lesser order. Well, since my accident, we'll see, I take 2 different heart medications. I take a pain and joint medication. I also take aspirin, which I was placed on after I request to be taken off Coumadin. Also take an over-the-counter joint medication. I take St. John's wort because I was on Prozac, but between Prozac and 2 alternate medications for depression, I suffer significant side effects. Also, I eat, this is generic form of belief. I know I'm not supposed to, but I gobble these down like M&M's. And finally, when all else fails, a bourbon, scotch, or whiskey is usually my nightcap to help me get to sleep. As I've learned, the VA giveth, but doesn't granteth. I've been understanding completely how to go on the differences between the VHA and the VBA. But the care through VHA has been wonderful. I'm sure the VBA has motivated wonderful people working for it, but I'll let the service attest to traumatic feelings. I've been issued a wheelchair by the VHA, but the VBA says I'm not authorized for a wheelchair ramp. Yeah, and this all kinds of, and additionally, I almost forgot these, but these are my nighttime glasses, driving glasses. I'm not sure if you can see, but they're actually prism lenses, and the sides were so thick that they cut them off, or else it'd look ridiculous. But see, not even though I have severe double vision, not a single mention that was made in my proposed rating. But let me see one thing before I forget. The VA did send me something. It's this customer satisfaction survey for this bus adapted, I'm no longer entitled to. As I said, I'm sorry for chopping this off, but you're probably pretty thankful. I just started running out of voice, so I'm gonna call it quits here. I think I made my point though. I was given a thoroughly inadequate evaluation. Now my wound warrior rep was in contact with the central office, with central CMP office, which canceled my initial hearing until the regional CMP office not told the hearing. And then the regional office ignored the national office and scheduled it anyways. My representative immediately contacted the national office, and the national office said, no, it's canceled, you don't have to go. The regional office is acting contrary to our guides. Well, guess what? In my rating, my final rating, the regional office actually cites the fact that I didn't bother showing up for the hearing as part of the reason they gave me what they did. Anyways, I apologize for rambling, but I'm kind of angry. Thank you very much for your time. And America is a lot better than this. It really is. Thank you. Bye-bye.